Hello and welcome. My name's Elliot Lamb and I'm the Head of Student Experience at Boomsatsuma. Boomsatsuma started 10 years ago to fuel the next creative generation by building the best possible pathway into the creative careers. Close connections and informed projects has always been key to this success. The latest stage in this development is the introduction of our creative and digital degree programs in filmmaking, production and post-production pathways, documentary photography and print, game art and game audio, all the result of the research and development of our last 10 years. We've built a small, personal and intense specialist provision that's intentionally non-campus based, linked with local industry and strictly limited to just 20 places per pathway. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us for this event, at which first you'll hear from our teaching team about what they've got in store for our pioneer group starting in September 2021. We'll then join some students currently studying with us on our Level 3 Extended Diploma programs to hear how they've found it at Boomsatsuma so far. And then we'll go to a live Q&A panel with staff and students so you can have all of your questions answered that you post in the chat box. Throughout this, keep in mind that our next round of interviews for places has just opened up for January. You can hit the Apply Now button on this page or visit boomsatsuma.com/apply to request your one-to-one interview. Up first, we have Samuel Fordham and Jamie Murray to tell you about our documentary photography and print Bachelor of Arts honours degree.
Hello, my name is Samuel Fordham. I'm an artist and educator and the course leader on documentary photography and print for Boomsatsuma. If I had to talk about a philosophy for the course, I would say we are trying to make photographers who are as at home making photographs as they are working within print-based contexts, and doing that through the continual making of work. Photographers are increasingly needing to design and create books themselves, as well as being able to create prints, not only for themselves but for other artists too. An education in photography is important because you get to learn about yourself, who you are. You also get to engage with the world and understand humanity. We will equip our students with the skills, techniques and professional attitudes required to work across the entire spectrum of photographic and publishing practices, be it in a gallery, in an archive or an agency. Life on the course is going to be practical above everything else. We're going to be continually making work. You're going to make work individually but also collaboratively with your collective. You're going to be supporting each other, listening to each other, making each other think. We are very lucky on the documentary photography and print course to be partnering with the Royal Photographic Society. Our students are going to be learning in context at RPS House, which is situated in the heart of Bristol's photographic scene. Our students are also going to be able to engage and assist with the RPS themselves and build a portfolio of actual professional practice. It's very important for our students to build their networks internationally in Europe and further afield, just as much as it is to build their networks in the UK. That's why we take our students to international photography festivals in Europe, but we're also going to make the most of the varied international festivals within the UK itself. Throughout the 3 years you'll be engaging in projects that range from editorial and commercial photography to long-form photographic art-based photography, as well as engaging with skills in cinematography, design, bookmaking and VR sequences. One of the most exciting things about this course is that we've written into the curriculum what we call block weeks. The block weeks are a really important aspect of the course. They help students to engage with more experimental approaches to techniques and technologies that they perhaps haven't experimented with before. It's also intensely collaborative, so they'll be making work with their peers and with students from outside of their courses as well. And it's also an opportunity for the students to start building their professional network. So we'll be bringing in artists and practitioners from the professional field into Bristol at Boomsatsuma. And it's those relationships that our students are going to be able to take with them into the first few years of their career.
My name is Jamie Murray, and I'll be joining Sam for the documentary photography and print course here at Boomsatsuma. The type of work that I make very much revolves around contemporary storytelling within the photographic field, something that I think is integral to the documentary side of the medium. What I hope to bring to the course is a link between education and the industry. And the industry operates in a few different planes. So for me, that would be the professional side, the kind of areas where you might be commissioned, where you can often make a living from, but also the artistic and more personal-led side, where hopefully you can engage with and interrogate your own issues with the world. In the past few years, we've really seen Bristol gain momentum in the photographic field. With Martin Power Foundation, the Royal Photographic Society moving here, and also with the Bristol Photo Festival being set up, it's a really exciting place to be for photography. A contemporary photographer has to work across a number of fields. To do that, you really have to learn your interests as an individual and your skill set. This course is going to be a perfect moment for you to figure out what it is you're interested in and to apply that to your photography. Within documentary photography and print, we're having a limited number of spaces to 20 students. What this really allows us to do is to be mobile, to work together as a team, and when we encounter something within contemporary culture, within current events, we can respond to it quickly, creating exhibitions, books, getting your work out there into the world. Within the past decade or so, we've also seen a resurgence in printmaking. This really is looking at the analog processes from start to finish. A key part of being a contemporary photographer is being able to understand these analog processes and allow them to feed into your work, working with digital equipment as well. We're going to operate on the boundary between the two, where we can teach you both aspects, both fields, and you can then engage with both of them moving forward into the industry. Both me and Sam are incredibly excited to start this course. I feel like there is as much I can learn from you as you can learn from me, and as a group together, the mobile aspect of the course, that ability to work as a team, is something that will really help us engage with each other and, in a broader sense, the world around us.
Next up is Greg Jamieson with our Game Art Bachelor of Arts Honours degree.
My name's Greg Jamieson. I'm the course leader for BA Game Art with Boomsatsuma. So I originally started in audio as a music producer and composer. From there, I went into teaching, quite an obscure route. I started as a technician at a local school that had a recording studio, and I was able to implement all my audio skills there. From there, I got into teaching and began a course in audio production and music technology. Then I went into filmmaking, and from filmmaking, I went to games. We chose to run a game art degree to accommodate the new technologies associated with the discipline. I think students join our degree because of our unique approach. Our degrees are placed in situ in commercial environments that are relevant to the subject. We quite deliberately place ourselves in commercial environments next to prospective commercial partners and professionals that can provide networking opportunities for our students and also insights into how cross-disciplines work together. The idea is to not just mimic an industrial or commercial environment, is to actually provide that where students work on commercial projects with real clients in the environment that they're very likely to go and work in. So at the moment in game art, there is a big paradigm shift where these games technologies are being applied outside of the discipline. Things like virtual production are taking traction with not just big film companies, but more local and regional TV studios are employing these technologies. We have incorporated and embedded that in our degree to ensure that our cohort are the first cohort that are trained in these disciplines, and what is a growing industry. We use all the industry standard software for modeling, texturing and animating, software such as Maya, ZBrush, and for our game engine work we use the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine goes from strength to strength. The capabilities of Unreal Engine are unmatched by any other games engine that is not native to a games company. Our numbers are capped at 20 students per cohort, and this is very deliberate. It is to allow for personalized tuition and learning, and to build a realistic office-style studio environment. We're looking for students who are creative and have a great work ethic. If you were invited to an interview, you'd be asked to provide a portfolio. I would like to see a strong creative portfolio. I'm interested in people demonstrating their processes and their work ethic. We can teach you the software skills, but we can't teach you to work hard. The games and virtual production industry is constantly growing. Now is a great time to be a games artist or a games technician. There are so many employment opportunities in games. Virtual production disciplines are constantly growing and being adopted by more and more companies and individuals. At Boomsatsuma, we can give you the skills to not only become a traditional games artist, but also to access these new and exciting opportunities.
And lastly, we have Freya Billington with our Filmmaking Bachelor of Arts Honours degree with pathways in production and post-production.
Hi, my name's Freya Billington. My background is a mix of industry. I've worked at the BBC, I've worked on features and music promos. I'm a filmmaker and I teach filmmaking, and I've combined the two things for many years now. One of the key things that I'm focusing on in this course is learning the skills required for networking and collaborative practice. To work in the film and television industry, above all else, the most important thing is being able to meet people, communicate effectively with those people, and then when you turn up on a job, get on with and work creatively and professionally with anybody who's on that set or in that post-production suite on the day. This course is really unique in the way that it was developed by working with the BBC, by working with Bottle Yard and by working with Films at 59 on where the gaps are and what they need students to be able to do on graduating. It is a direct response to what the industry is asking for from film graduates. Again, this is a great thing for them because what they need is students who are industry ready, who can move straight into the roles where there are spaces on graduating because they've been taught by their own people. So they know that those students understand professional standard, they understand all of the technical skills required, and they understand how to function within that environment. All of those things combined make this a really quite unique experience. One of our other partners, Bottle Yard Studios, is working already with Boomsatsuma, has a very established relationship. So we will have students up there using some of the spaces, understanding how the studio works, understanding how to work in that kind of space, and again, with the very real potential for work experience, shadowing, and all sorts of engagement with the many productions that are there over the year. Obviously, we're based in Bristol, which is a real hub for media, for film, for television, for art, for music. And being the organisation we are, with the ability to move quickly in the way that we can, means we're not just engaging with the stated industry partners, but all sorts of other companies that have got exciting things going on all the time. So our engagement and involvement within all of that is very real and very immediate. One of the things I'm most excited about is Boomsatsuma have agreed on limiting our offers to keep the course a good size so that all students can really get to know one another and that lecturers can really develop strong interpersonal relationships with those students. This is the point it starts at. This is when you'll start developing your skills, learning all the technical abilities you need to have, finding your voice and how best to communicate that, and developing relationships that are likely to be relationships that last over your career for many years to come. I know that this degree will give you the opportunity to express your ideas, to learn all of the skills you need technically, but also to really develop yourself to the point where you feel really clear and confident about what it is that you want to achieve when you move on. And I think we're in an extraordinary age for the possibilities of where the industry is going to go. So I'm really excited about BL's filmmaking at Boomsatsuma. For me, it's many years of my experience all rolled into one, whilst also having the opportunity to work directly with industry on what we need to deliver. I can't wait to start working with you, the next generation of filmmakers, on this course at Boomsatsuma.
I hope you found those 3 films informative. Now remember, at the end of this live stream, we have a live Q&A with our staff and students. So if you have any questions about these degrees or studying with Boomsatsuma in general, pop them in the chat box. Next, I'd like to hand over to some students who are currently studying with us on our Level 3 Extended Diploma programs to tell you about how they've found their time with us so far.
Boomsatsuma really prepares you for the working industry after you graduate. So we're on a live film production set, and we also are able to work with production companies there. Like at the moment we're working with the set course and we're making sets with them for our sci-fi. So we're always around working people, and it's nice to have that environment to boost us and inspire us to get there in our future. Going into Boomsatsuma, you might have an idea of wanting to be a director and editor, but you really don't know what you want to be until you have that experience. And I think Boomsatsuma are good at letting you have experience in all types of departments.
The skills that I've learned is kind of like been more broad than I expected. I was going into it like solely 2D, but I now like 3D, and I'm starting to learn more like making VR and like mixing the two together. And that's been really great because I can go to different avenues in like the field.
The working environment feels more like where I'm doing like a professional job. It's good to work on real projects because it gives me more experience for when I leave here. I won't just be like thrown into the workplace with like no client work and not really knowing what to do. It's like I have some stuff that I could show them, like, oh, I've done this and that for other clients. This is why I think I'll be good for you.
The relationship with the staff is quite nice because it doesn't feel like they're a teacher, it feels like they're your mentor in a way, and especially as they've grown up and done media when they were in school or college, they kind of know what to do to get you the level you want. And the relationship with peers is quite nice because you go out on projects with them and you work with everyone in your class, which is really nice.
So I've done loads of things that I wouldn't have thought we'd have done over the course. Like my favourite unit was probably comics or the 2D animation, which we did in like a group and we all did different areas. So I would have never thought that texturing in 3D was something that I really enjoyed, but I started it on a project and now I've really gotten into it. I participated in a group making a 3D logo of the Shambhala festivals. That was really fun. So Greg brought that in, gave us a group, and then set us a brief, and we all designed ideas, and then we put them all together and made a model that he then took and like animated. And it was really fun and learned a lot of new things.
Secondary school, you kind of feel as if you're a piece of machinery in a bigger picture, whereas at Boomsatsuma you feel like you're the machine, you're in control, and what the staff do is they give you the cogs, they give you everything to become yourself, and that's what's so great about the staff is they are encouraging your individuality and your own unique creativity. They're not trying to make you fit into a box, they want you to explore who you are and what you believe in. Well, the benefits of the location is it fills me with an excitement for the career that I've chosen. I mean, on my way into class, I'm walking past the costume department and the visual effects department, and I'm looking in and I'm getting a glimpse of different things, and that within itself motivates you to and solidifies that this is what I want to do, this is where I should be.
Now, that was a lot of information in a short amount of time, but now it's time to have your questions answered as we go over to our 2 live Q&A panels. First with our current students, and then with some of the Boomsatsuma team. Perfect. Hello and welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. Group of students, thanks very much for giving up part of your evening to join us here tonight to answer people's questions at home. I'd like to start by you guys introducing yourself. So we'll start with Max.
Hello, I'm Max, and I study film and television at Boomsatsuma at the Bottle Yard Studios.
Perfect. Thanks, Max.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I study creative media at Engine Shed in Bristol.
Hi, my name is Solomon, and I also study creative media at Engine Shed Bristol.
Perfect. Thanks, Solomon.
Hi, I'm Eve, and I study games, VR, and VFX at Engine Shed Bristol.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Very good introduction. Thank you. So this is a reminder to people watching at home. These students have given up their evening to join us. They're all current students on our Level 3 programmes. And whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can use the chat box on your screen to ask any questions that we can pick up and answer live. You can also, if you're on our website or on Twitch, you can hit the purple button to bring up the chat box and ask questions in there as well. We've actually had our first question come in, which is very useful. The first question is, have you found your course too broad, too open, too loose? Eve, do you want to start us off?
I don't think it's too broad because it lets you experience a wide range of things, and if there's something that you really like, you can take that further. So I started doing texturing on 3D models, and that's never anything that I thought I would enjoy, but I've really gone into it and started making more stuff myself.
Excellent. Okay, and is that something that did you have an idea of those were the things that you were into before you joined Boomsatsuma? Was it because of the course content? How did that?
I think I was definitely more of a 2D kind of person, but after joining the course, I was doing more 3D, and we started making an environment, and I really wanted it to look exactly as I wanted, so I went and painted all the textures myself and downloaded Substance Painter, and that was really, really fun, and I don't think I'd have found that on a different course.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, and was it something that you assumed you wouldn't necessarily be able to do when you started? Or?
Oh, well, I think I wouldn't have been able to know what I was doing on Maya to start, but if you went to an art course at school, you definitely wouldn't be doing something like that.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Eve. We've got another question come in that is, why did you pick Boomsatsuma over somewhere more, and this is quite good, over somewhere more normal, quote unquote? Max, do you want to answer that one?
I picked Boomsatsuma because I always felt in secondary school and normal educational environments that I didn't feel very individual or very in control of what I wanted to do. And I chose Boomsatsuma because I've known them for a very long time, and I've known people who've gone through the process, and they all say that you become your own person, you become your own artist, and who wants to be normal? I mean, who does? That you want to be special, and I feel special going to Boomsatsuma. I feel I'm becoming my own unique filmmaker day by day. So
nice. Okay, so environment definitely kind of played a part in that. That you wanted a kind of a more, is it fair to say, grown-up professional environment? What were the pros and cons for you when making that decision?
Oh gosh. So the pros were the environment is something you will never experience. I go to school every day at a working film studio where things are happening every day that I can't even talk about because I've had to sign an NDA. That's how exciting it is. The cons of secondary school for me was I felt you had to fit in a box. And as creatives, we don't like that. We want to, get rid of that box completely and explore in the realms of things we didn't even know existed. So,
okay,
yeah.
Nice. Well, we've actually picked up kind of a follow-up question that anyone can answer on that, which is really useful. Someone at home asks, Reese asks, what have you found to be the kind of the key differences between studying at Boom versus your previous education, so school? That's one for the floor for you.
I personally found it to be way more specialised. The reason I personally picked Boom over traditional A-levels, which is what most of my personal friends have gone to, is because it was something different. In secondary school, you go through all these different subjects and you're a bit overwhelmed, which is why I think a lot of people find it difficult to choose which career path they want to go through. Whereas when I saw something like Boom, I was like, this is very specialized. And if in your gut, you're a creative person, or in your gut, you're something different, I feel like that's what you should be going for. And so I feel like the main difference between secondary school and something like Boom is just the in-depth learning you get compared to a broad, unspecified kind of learning.
Okay. Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
I also feel like Boom is a place where you could express your inner creativity as well. So in school, I found that there were not a lot of lessons that we were getting taught where we could spark and kind of express our inner creativity with. So with Boom, it kind of helped me find my inner creativity as well, and just put that in practical work, and it's very hands-on. So yeah, it was really helpful as well.
Yeah, nice. Okay. A follow-up question for that from somebody called Mark from home. And actually, Suleiman, if you can carry on if you want. Are you choosing, obviously you're studying at college level 3 extended diploma at the moment. Are you choosing to go on to onto one of the degrees? Which one and why? Have you compared it to kind of other degrees out there, and why do you think you might choose Boom?
I would choose Boomsatsuma's uni course, the filming one.
Okay.
Only because I feel like it could further my skills as well as knowledge in the filming industry, and I would want to go into the filming industry and have an influence in there. So yeah, I feel like Boom would be the best place for me personally. Like I said, it also could help me become more creative and know a bit more about the film industry as well, and how it works.
Excellent. All right, thanks, Suleiman. Another question that's come in, has being at Boomsatsuma helped you in other ways? Like not just technical skills, has it helped you in other ways? Lynn, do you want to start us off?
I really think it has. On my creative media course, you cover a lot of different subjects, so photography, filmography, and with that comes with working with other people. And in secondary school, I was a rather closed person. I found it very difficult to communicate with people, but the environment at Boom, I really found it easy to talk to everybody, not only the teachers but the other students.
Okay.
And it was kind of really accommodating. And I think, and I've talked to other students on the course, and they've said they've really felt a boost in confidence, which I think is really significant just for everyday life, not only in like technical practices.
Absolutely, perfect. Has anyone got anything else to add to that? Yeah, of course.
I think now more than ever, the world is cherishing mental health and wellness much more than we have before. And I think what's so special about Boom is they recognise that more openly than I've seen anywhere else do. And it's made me feel really seen and really validated for what I experience, and to know that I'm fully supported by where I am, but not in a way where I feel like I have to rely on them. They're giving me the tools to rely on myself, and that's what every person, no matter what industry you want to be in, needs to develop. And I haven't been here long, but I feel the impact very deeply, and it will just get greater and greater, pretty much.
Perfect. Thanks, Max. Another question that's come in is, do you feel your teachers have enough time to support you at Boom? Suleiman, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I feel like
follow up?
Yeah, sure. I feel like our teachers are very accessible around the classroom, so they're always walking around the classroom. They're always there to help us once we put our hands up and stuff. And I think, yeah, they give us enough time to understand what we're doing, and they're literally there to help. So yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, I would say they're really involved. My teachers are all super eager, and they're always like posting links to videos and stuff that they think we'll be interested in. And on our studio days on Tuesday, Tom will bring his VR for anyone that like wants to explore that and learn new things.
Sure. Okay. So there's that. I suppose, is that like ancillary? Is that kind of stuff outside your main course of study?
So it's a bit related, but anyone who wants to take that kind of stuff further. So I've gone in and I've done like a presentation on how VR works and like the science behind it, and also how to go and like the different programs available on it.
Yeah. Excellent. Nice. Okay. Well, we've got time for one more. So here's a nice question that's come in. It's sort of for the floor, really. But what was your interview like for Boomsatsuma?
Oh gosh.
No pressure.
My one, I was really nervous going in because I sort of put all my eggs in one basket with Boomsatsuma. I didn't apply to anywhere else. I hoped that this was the place to be, and I knew this was the place I belonged. And I walked in, and I think Elliot actually interviewed me, and I think he could probably tell that I looked like I'd just seen a ghost. But you sat down, and immediately the environment just impacts you in a way that you're not expecting. You're surrounded by this air of creativity and passion that you don't. I never experienced before, and I knew in that interview that this is the right place to be. And thank goodness I got in, because I didn't apply anywhere else. So.
Yeah, that's good.
With my interview, it was really kind of similar. I think I only applied to one other college, and I was really desperately hoping to go to Boom because it was so different. I really wanted to go somewhere like this, and I was terrified. But as soon as I think Elliot, you interviewed me as well, and it immediately felt so much more casual than I could have anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt really kind of free. Like I could have said what I wanted to and felt like understood as a creative person for what I wanted to do, which I think is really important. You don't want to feel more pressure when you're in an interview. So I feel like that was a really key aspect for me when I came out of the interview.
Absolutely, perfect.
I'd say I was the opposite. I applied for loads of places and did a lot of interviews. But Boomsatsuma was my first one, so I didn't really know what I was going into. But yeah, it was definitely a lot more casual and a lot more friendly than I was expecting it to be. So we talked over my work that I'd done, and I was having trouble picking between the courses I would want to do as well. So that really clarified it with me talking with Elliot over what I was passionate about and which course could help me bring that forward. And as opposed to sixth form, it was just a lot more friendly, a lot less clinical, you get this grade, you go on this course. It was a lot more personal.
Excellent, brilliant. Okay, well, thank you. That's all we've got time for. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's greatly appreciated. We'll see you soon. We'll be back right after this. Hello, welcome back. Thanks again to our students, and I'd actually just like to take a moment, if I can, to, although anyone watching at home can't see this, pretty much this entire production is being run by current students of ours at Boomsatsuma. They're doing a really fabulous job. Anyone in the room, can we just have a round of applause for all of the students that are helping out tonight? I can't clap in my mic. No, it's really great to see these guys give up an evening to help run this live stream, and thanks to the students that joined us this evening to answer your questions. A reminder, anyone at home, I'm here with our some teaching staff from our degree programs that are launching in September 2021. We've got some questions already come in, but you can use the chat box, whether you're on Facebook, when you're on YouTube, use the chat box to ask your questions. If you're watching on our website, hit the purple Twitch button to put your chat box in, your questions in that chat box there as well. We'll start by introducing ourselves, if that's okay. Introducing yourselves and your degree. Can we start with Greg?
Hi, I'm Greg Jameson. I'm the program leader for BA Game Art.
Excellent. Hi, Greg.
Hello, my name's Samuel Fordham. I'm the course leader of the documentary photography and print.
Perfect. Thanks, Sam.
Hi, I'm Cam Gandhi, and I'm part of the team for filmmaking program.
Excellent, brilliant. Well, thank you very, very much for joining us and for giving up your evening. I'll start with, I've got a load of questions in front of me, so I'll start with one of them, shall I? A question for Cam, because it's about the filmmaking degree. Do I need to have any filmmaking experience to apply for the Boomsatsuma degree?
I would say you don't necessarily need to have any experience. I mean, it's useful, but it's not essential. Mm-hmm. I think what is really useful is being able to generate lots of ideas. And it's quite crucial that you know how to collaborate with other people, because filmmaking is clearly a collaborative process. Sure. And those, I would say, are kind of fundamentals, yeah. Absolutely. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. A second question for Greg, if you could pick this one up. Somebody at home says, I've already got some of my own game ideas to bring. That sounds great already. Which I'd be excited to try and make. Is it possible to do that on your course?
Of course, all our briefs are open, bar a couple. Okay. We would. Many people come in with that idea and they want to make their own game, and it tends to be after 3 months they start to get a sense of what they're doing, and ideas change and they diversify. But there is total accommodation for building your own game idea in year one. The projects, the outputs are open. You can build games, VR, AR, virtual productions. We assess you on the process, not really on the product. As long as you're hitting these processes that are applicable across all those product types, we're happy for you to, and encourage people to generate their own ideas. So it's sort of it's about introducing your own concepts into those processes. Absolutely. That's really interesting. Touching on what you said, creativity is probably the most important asset to have. Yeah. Okay. Well, how does that work, just as a follow-up then, how does that work on both of your degrees as well? Is it kind of welcome that people bring their own project ideas to it? I mean, I was going to say, sorry, I'm going to jump in there. I think having your own ideas and then being able to work within an environment where you're being supported is a really brilliant jumping off point. But of course, part of that creative process is that things do change and that you do end up going down different sort of pathways. Right. But that I would just expect that as part of the creative process, if that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. What about on documentary photography and print? So.
Yeah, we want to see people's ideas, absolutely. Like, especially when for people coming to interview, we want to see you trying to work through certain themes or concepts through your imagery. You don't have to have like a definitive mode or style of working. What we really want to see is passion. We want to see passion and creativity through the still image. Right. We want, and we'll work with you to build with the skills and the methodologies into creative practice. But ultimately, all we can really ask for at this stage is passion. We're hugely passionate about what we do, and that's what's going to take us forwards on the course. Nice. Okay. Thank you very much. Cam again, if that's all right. Someone looking for a filmmaking interview here for the course, which is great. What immediately makes someone stand out to you on a filmmaking interview?
I mean, I'm going to go back to what Sam was saying. I think a deeply passionate filmmaker. It's very clear you have to be passionate about telling stories, and you have to be passionate about, in a way, acknowledging that those stories have an impact on an audience. So it's about also respecting your work and the audience. There's a kind of conversation that's going on there. That's quite clear. I think that's very clear. Right. When someone comes to an interview. They have something they want to say. They are expressing that through this very particular medium, and through that we can sort of sense the enthusiasm and the passion for what they want to say, I think. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Is that sort of the same, or is there anything to add for your degrees there? What would make a candidate stand out in one of these interviews? Obviously, we're giving out 20 places per pathway, so I think people are keen to know kind of what should they bring? What do they need to demonstrate in their interview? Yeah, I mean, just to jump in there, I think even though photography largely can be like a solo practice, because we are keeping the numbers down to 20, it is going to be intensely collaborative as well. And even with on the photography course, we have these block weeks. So you're going to be making work in a collaborative manner 6 weeks a year, and you're going to be publishing and exhibiting that work as a collective. So, first thing, passion, and then number two is that, an ability to work and a want to work with other people.
being
Nice.
friendly, being energized, you know.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
probably worth saying, actually, it's really hard work. You have to want to work very, very hard. There's this
Yeah.
kind of idea that this is an easy route,
Easy route,
maybe.
yeah.
It's not. You're someone who gets up very early in the morning. There's no midday shoot.
Yeah. Oh, also, just to jump in there, like the way that these courses have been designed is there is going to be lots of opportunities for like cross-disciplinary practice between the courses. So
Yeah.
even if you're like, your main line is photography, if you have an interest in film or you have an interest in like computer generated imagery, like we can do that, and you can build on those ideas and practices through coming to Boomsatsuma, because we're so closely linked. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, thank you guys. A question for Greg. This is always no good luck on this one. It's great fun. What's virtual production, and how is it built into the game art course?
Virtual production, is, simply put, is making movies inside a game engine, using traditional filmmaking workflows play out in real time inside a games engine. And you can do that with animated assets, CGI assets, real assets against green screen.
Yeah.
You can have a real location in one geographical location, and you can have real actors against the green screen in another remote location, and augment that and combine those inputs inside the game engine in real time.
Right, yeah.
The best way to think about it is imagine all the visual effects that happen afterwards. Well, now you can do that
Happens in real time.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I suppose just on Sam's point, that's where you start to see the cross-collaboration, right?
Absolutely.
And outside of our creative and digital degrees, we've got an acting for screen course starting with the Bristol School of Acting as well. So you can
motion capture artists.
Mocap artists. Is that what we want to call them?
That's what's going to happen.
Excellent. Great. Okay. Another question for Sam. How will the RPS, so the Royal Photographic Society connection, help me? Not me.
Not you, yeah, the students, yeah. So just to say, I mean, we are so lucky to be partnering with the Royal Photographic Society. It's an absolutely amazing institution. It's one of the oldest and most significant photographic institutions, not only in the country, but in the world. So the course is going to take place at the Royal Photographic Society, and our students are going to be able to engage with the events and exhibitions program there. Through that, they'll be able to build a portfolio of actual professional practice, so actual work experience, working in one of the most prestigious galleries in the world.
Yeah.
Seeing how it runs, seeing the ins and outs, how exhibitions are installed and taken over, or taken down. How things are marketed, how events are organised. All of those amazing things our students are going to have first-hand access to, which I can't wait for. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, it does. It's great. We've got a question. Oh, we've actually got a question about accommodation. So, not that it's for me to pick up the answers, but I will do, because that's in short, Nick. It's a lot easier than people tend to assume. The student accommodation. There's a typical assumption with universities that it's all student halls that are on campus. Boomsatsuma is intentionally designed as a non-campus provision because we want to be in commercial locations. We essentially don't want to be in the middle of a field. Is that fair to say? And so what that means, being in Bristol, which is such a big student city, is that we're much closer to the centre, and in central and kind of surrounding the central areas of Bristol is student accommodation that is not actually associated with a particular organisation or institution, so not linked to any of the universities, and is open to all students. So it's super easy. In fact, outside of this, we've got a page on our website, boomsatsuma.education/living, where our team essentially can help people that are thinking of moving to Bristol to study. We can help them find a student accommodation, whether it's a private flat or in student halls with people like IQ, Unite. There's the city centre is littered with student accommodation because there's a lot of students studying in the city, because it's a very great place to come. But it's very easy to sort out, and we can help you do that if you go to boomsatsuma.education/living. Back onto some of the other questions. We've got a question with someone with the username KinneyTech. Can you give me an example of creative projects that you've been able to work on? This might be a question for one of the students, but for perhaps a key project that's coming up for any of you. if you're happy and able to share those now, what's coming up?
So one of our main remits at Boom is to have our students work on commercial projects, even at level 3. Our level 3 students have just completed a project for Shambhala Festival, which unfortunately wasn't able to take place this year. But we created 3D animation as a placeholder for their stings and strap lines at the beginning of their video channels. And this year our HE students have just taken on 2 commercial animation projects, one for Vision 2025, which is kind of a sustainable events organization, and another one for a media consultant called Chris Johnson. And we've just completed that project a month ahead of schedule.
Nice.
And we'll try and get 2 or 3 commercial projects in every year. We feel it's really important that our students not only get to work on these projects, but get to meet clients, get used to the nuances of what a real brief looks like, how to interact with the client, all those soft skills that are generally found out quite harshly when you first go into the world of self-employment or commissioned work. So we embed that even at level 3. And it's obviously something, being placed in situ at the Royal Photographic Society or a Bottle Yard studio, it's much easier for us to accommodate real professional practice.
From my perspective, what's really good about that, in particular relation to game art as well, is I think that kind of shows you and the students where we talk a lot about how the games technologies isn't just utilised in recreational video games, like in the traditional sense as well.
Sure.
So I suppose those types of projects, almost all of them have been
absolutely.
in different industries.
In fact, there's a bigger market commercially, and also those clients are nervous to put their toes into it, so we're able to provide that soft entrance into, hey, let us take on that project. There's less risk for you. There's no commercial risk financially.
Yeah.
We get the experience. And you're able to maybe implement a technology that can streamline. I don't know, if you're an engineering business, you can build your products inside VR and simulate the forces or structures needed to build your products. And that's generally where these games technologies are being employed inside in-house of industries that now want a virtual engineering section or a virtual medical section or somewhere where they can simulate a situation that doesn't put their staff in danger, trains them for a situation that might be hazardous or those are kind of the jobs of the future streamlined You've obviously got your domestic VR market, but industry has already adopted VR widely because it streamlines so many processes, saves money, time, and increases safety. There's so many benefits.
Excellent, great. All right, thank you, Greg. We've got quite a few questions to get through. We've got time for a couple more. Cam. Will I be able to meet people from BBC and the other partners that we've mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a very close relationship with the filmmaking course and production companies in and around Bristol. That's kind of part of the crucial relationship. And again, it goes back to what you were saying about having a client and developing a professional practice and developing professional skills. We're aware that actually when you enter the industry, you're entering it is an entry-level role that you'll be heading towards, but part of the program is to kind of help gear you up as a professional so that you understand what that route is and you understand what's expected of you. So yeah, you'll have contact with the BBC and Films at 59 and Bottle Yard. I mean, there's lots of them. There's lots. Bristol's are very big. It's a centre for things like VR with the Watershed and Pervasive Studio, and I think the kind of crossovers are quite apparent, and both those the TV and broadcast industries based in Bristol are overlapping. So again, there's Channel 4's digital base and digital arm is in Bristol as well. So yes, the short answer is
The short answer is excellent. Okay, we've got a question. What are the teachers' backgrounds again? I think it's because we talked a little bit about it in the films, but it is a nice bit you can show off now. We'll start wherever. Sam, should we start with you?
Yeah,
Sure.
So I'm a photographer and educator. I started out working in terms of photography, started out working in fashion and like commercial photography, and did that for a number of years, and then moved into a more fine art documentary based mode. I've been exhibiting all over the world for the last few years. I've won some high profile awards and been in some big shows like the Bloomberg New Contemporaries and the Paris Photo Carte Blanche. And I've been teaching for a number of years as well, and I absolutely love photographic education. It's I think it's probably the best thing I've ever done with my life. It's just an amazing way to engage with people and engage with the world. And I'll be doing it for a long time.
Great, thanks, Sam.
Me?
Cam, okay.
Okay. I've got a bit of a bonkers background. So I started off as a fine artist and then did a lot of, I did performance art. Performance art and video installation, then moved into screenwriting, in part because I wanted to direct, but I wasn't getting the screenplays that I wanted to direct. They didn't really resonate with me, so I took a little circuitous route and did another degree in screenwriting, which I now teach, and I have throughout that entire time worked within community organisations because I, again, like Sam, utterly love facilitating and being able to mentor young adults into a world that was quite and is still a little bit tricky to get into, but was nearly impossible when I first started out. I teach, I still write, I still make things. I work with a lot of other organisations. I've got some projects with the BFI, so a practicing filmmaker, writer, as well as an educator, which I think is utterly transformative. It's a really brilliant relationship, actually.
Awesome, thanks, Cam. And Greg?
I originally started in audio, moved into film, ended up in games, and I got into teaching about 12 years ago at secondary school. There was an opportunity to start a BTEC in creative media, which I started in music technology, then did a film, then did a games.
Nice. That's sort of at the introduction of those.
I guess so. It's a lot easier to get into games once you know that stuff. It's a good head start. I would academically, my background is I have a physics degree. Also the screen editor for Boomsatsuma magazine, which is science and arts magazine.
Excellent.
That one with Boom.
Brilliant, thank you. Cheers, guys. Okay, cool. So I was about to finish up. So Otis at home has asked, and thank you, Otis, because this is very useful because it feeds into the final question I have. From each of you, if you can, when applying, what is the best kind of thing we should add to our portfolio? What kind of things do you want to see? And I'm going to add to Otis's question because it's a good question. What are you looking for to join your degree? You're going to be in the interviews with these students. What do you want to see?
Well, I want to see a demonstration of their creativity, obviously, but I'm more interested in the processes that they've tackled rather than the final result. You're here to make mistakes. You're here to learn your craft a bit more, to that near professional standard. That's what you're here for. So if you can illustrate that through the processes that you've done, that also demonstrates the hard work as well. And again, back to that thing of passion, bring that passion to the interview.
Great. Yeah, Sam?
Yeah, sure, I'll go, ideally, we want to see you trying to work through an idea or trying to communicate something through the still image. If you can, bring projects, a series of images. If you only have individual images, that's fine. Just be prepared to sort of talk about them as individual images. But what we really want to see is how a series of images can communicate themes or concepts or an idea that you've had or an area of life that you're interested in. And like Greg said, bring the passion.
Bring the passion. Excellent. And lastly, Cam.
And I was going to say mine is a merging of both of those, really. I think this idea of kind of developing a concept through the work is really important. The passion, your ability to want to try things out and not necessarily get those right is really, really important. So the sort of testing, the experimenting is incredibly useful. But most of all, I think we want to meet you at the interview. I think I'm interested in seeing who you are as you arrive, what you bring with you, because the kind of skill set is the stuff that will help you develop. We're here to do that with you. But really, yeah, I'm interested to meet you. Who you are.
I second that. I'm really excited to meet you.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good, and we've got people like Otis again saying in the chat, this has been an aspiration of mine for the past 2 years, so I really can't wait. So I think that's really key. We're waiting for that passion, right? So we want to meet you. That's excellent. That's all we've got time for. So we're going to go to the final bit of the live stream now. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. It's right for you. The process is simpler than you might think. You can hit the Apply Now button on this page or visit boomsatsuma.com/apply to request your one-to-one interview with us. Equally, you can email us at education@boomsatsuma.com with any questions, or you can live chat with our team by visiting any of our socials. Even accommodation is simpler than you might think. The vast majority of student halls and houses in Bristol city centre and further afield are private and not linked to any particular institution, so open for all of you to live in. We're happy to help any of you house hunt if you visit boomsatsuma.education/living. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.